All right, so get ready because today we are tackling something that I think we all care about, the never-ending search for the perfect water bottle.
Mm.
And specifically, we're going to break down the Stanley Ice Flow Tumbler. This thing has a crazy amount of reviews on Amazon, like over 34,000.
Whoa, that's a lot of opinions. But you know what they say. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Or maybe, just maybe, it's like really good marketing, you know?
Yeah, that's what we're here to find out. Because let's be real, for a water bottle to get this much attention online, something's got to be going on, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to unpack all those reviews, figure out what's hype and what's real, and see if the Stanley Ice Flow actually lives up to all the hype.
Yeah, and let's not forget, we're not just talking about drinking water here. This is about finding a product that's supposed to, like, level up your whole hydration game.
Totally. So before we get lost in the sea of reviews, let's do a quick rundown of what this tumbler is all about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stainless steel construction, vacuum insulation, has that flip-up straw, and of course the classic Stanley handle. They've got it in all different sizes and colors, but those are the main things.
And those features are basically why everyone's talking about it. The ice retention is insane. People are saying it's leak-proof no matter what. And then there's the handle. Some people love it. Some people hate it. It's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, we are going to unpack all of that, but first, let's talk ice. I mean, who haven't had their hike or workout ruined by lukewarm water? Some of these reviews are saying this thing keeps ice frozen for like a whole day. Seriously. I even saw one where someone used it on a camping trip and said there was still ice when they woke up the next morning.
It sounds pretty wild, but it all comes down to the science behind vacuum insulation. So instead of just having an air gap between the inner and outer layers like some insulated bottles, Stanley sucks out all the air to create a vacuum. And when there's no air, there's basically zero heat transfer.
So it's like creating a mini fridge for your drinks, like it just traps the cold inside.
Exactly. And the thing that makes Stanley different is, like, their history, you know? They've been perfecting this vacuum insulation tech for over 100 years. That's why they're always going up against brands like Yeti and Hydro Flask when it comes to temperature control. And a lot of reviewers say they often come out on top, too.
Okay, so the science checks out, but what about these leak-proof claims? Because a leaky water bottle is the worst.
Ugh, tell me about it. Spills are the worst. But the good news is, based on the reviews, leaking doesn't seem to be an issue with the ice flow at all. People are throwing this thing in their gym bags, backpacks, taking it on bumpy bike rides, no problem.
There's this one review that really stuck with me. This mom was raving about how the Stanley Ice Flow was a lifesaver on a road trip with her kids. No more sticky juice explosions in the back seat. It's those real-life examples that make me think, okay, they're onto something here.
Totally. That peace of mind is so key, especially if you're depending on your water bottle all day. And it all comes down to the design of the lid. We're not talking about your average screw-on cap. This thing is precision engineered with a seal that means business.
Right. Okay, so we've got the ice-cold science down, we've got the leak-proof engineering down, but what about comfort? Because that handle has caused some controversy.
Yeah, the handle is where things get interesting, for sure. A lot of reviewers love the convenience of it, but there's definitely a group of people who think it's kind of clunky, especially compared to those sleeker bottles without a handle.
It's a real love it or hate it situation. Some people are all about how comfortable it is to carry, especially on walks or when their hands are full. They say it feels sturdy, like they could practically carry groceries with it. But then you've got other folks complaining about it being bulky and getting in the way when they try to put it in a bag or a cup holder.
And that's where ergonomics come in. You know, it's not just about sticking a handle on a tumbler and calling it a day. Stanley's really thought about the design, the width, the angle, even the texture. It's all about making it comfy to hold.
So it's like they're using science to make products that fit our hands better, right?
Yeah, exactly. But even then, what's comfortable for one person might not be for another. Hand size, how strong your grip is, even just personal preference, it all comes into play.
And I'm guessing how you plan on using the tumbler matters too. Like if you're mainly carrying it around, that big handle might be great, but if you're always on the go, tossing it in and out of bags, maybe something slimmer would be better.
You got it. It's all about finding that balance between what works and what you like. Speaking of what works, let's talk about some of the downsides reviewers mentioned, like durability. A handful of people said they were worried about the finish scratching easily.
Yeah, I saw a few comments about that. People said they noticed scratches after putting it in a bag with their keys or other stuff. And let's be honest, most of us aren't exactly treating our water bottles like they're fragile.
True, true, we put them through the ringer. But the good news is, Stanley uses really high-grade stainless steel for their Ice Flow Tumblers 18.8 to be exact. It's super durable, doesn't rust or corrode easily, and can definitely handle everyday bumps and scratches.
Okay, so it's tough stuff. But what about those scratches people mentioned?
Well, here's the thing. Any stainless steel, no matter how good it is, can scratch if you're not careful. It's just the nature of the material. But those scratches are mostly cosmetic, you know? They don't actually affect how well the tumbler works or how well it keeps your drink cold.
That makes sense. But a few people also mentioned problems with the dishwasher, like the finish getting messed up. Is that a deal breaker?
It's definitely something to think about. Stanley says their ice flow tumblers are dishwasher safe, but those harsh detergents and high heat can be a problem. Over time, it can make the finish look dull or even change color.
So hand washing is probably the best way to keep it looking brand new.
You got it. It's a trade-off for sure. Hand washing takes a bit more effort, but it's the best way to keep your tumbler looking good and make it last longer. And speaking of making it last, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, the price. The Stanley Ice Flow is not exactly easy on the wallet.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This thing costs a lot more than your average water bottle. So let's talk about value for a sec. Is it actually worth the money?
That is the million-dollar question, right? And like most things, there's no easy answer. It really comes down to you, what you need, what you care about, and of course, your budget.
Okay, so what should people be thinking about when they're trying to decide if it's worth the cost?
First things first, ask yourself what's most important to you in a water bottle. Do you absolutely need your drinks to stay ice cold all day? Are you constantly on the move and need something totally leak-proof? Are you looking for something that will last you a long time, even if it costs more upfront?
Those are all really good points.
Right. And don't forget about the brand itself. Stanley has been around for over 100 years, and they're known for making quality stuff. They have a reputation for a reason, and they stand behind their products.
So it's like you're not just paying for a water bottle, you're paying for the peace of mind that comes with a brand you can trust.
Exactly. And that's something you don't always get with cheaper options, you know?
I hear that. Like you said, sometimes you do get what you pay for. But when it comes down to it, how do you know if this is the right water bottle for you? You know, what's the final verdict?
So after going through all these reviews and like really digging into the features, here's what it comes down to. The Stanley Ice Flow is a solid, well-made tumbler, and for the most part, it lives up to the hype. It's amazing at keeping drinks cold, the lid seems to be truly leak-proof, and the handle, well, it's a matter of taste, but they clearly put some thought into it.
Right, no major problems there.
Yep.
But it sounds like it really depends on if those features match up with what you need and what you're looking for.
Exactly. If you're all about having ice-cold drinks all day long and you need something that won't leak no matter what, and you like having a sturdy handle, even if it's a bit bulkier, then yeah, the Stanley Ice Flow could be a great choice. But if you're on a budget, or you want something slimmer, or you don't really care about having ice in your drink for 12 hours, then there are definitely other options out there that might be better for you.
It's all about finding the one,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your perfect water bottle match.
Mm.
But no matter what water bottle you end up with, I think there's a bigger point here, you know?
Yeah.
It's about choosing reusable over single use.
Now you're talking. It's easy to get caught up in all the bells and whistles and the different brands, but at the end of the day, the best water bottle is the one you'll actually use over and over again.
It's so true. Every time you refill a reusable bottle, you're doing something good for the planet, you're reducing waste, you're saving resources, you're saying no to single-use plastics, and that's a good feeling.
Absolutely. And hey, maybe the Stanley Ice Flow, with its super-powered ice retention and lifetime warranty, maybe it'll be your trusty sidekick on your journey to being more sustainable.
There you have it, the Stanley Ice Flow Tumbler. We analyzed the hype, broke down the features, weighed the pros and cons. Hopefully this helps you decide if it's the right water bottle for you. But more importantly, we hope this got you thinking about the impact of the choices you make, even when it comes to something as simple as a water bottle.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Cheers to that.